Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino. Hope you enjoyed that first part of Poker in the Ears and Eyes. More of that as the day continues, as we bring you our final six, the last day of coverage. And today we will crown a champion from the 6 remaining players from the starting tally of 727. Somebody going to get over €500,000. Right now, Michael Kolkovich, top of the table with nearly 7 million. Maxim Paniak second, just shy of 4 million. And the shortest stack, Diego Zaita, with 1.4. Now that we're at the 50,000, 100,000 with a 10K ante, that represents 11 big blinds. He is most certainly, as my colleague Joe Stapleton will announce, in the danger zone.
Danger zone! Hello, my babies.
And here we go.
We are already underway.
Thank you ever so much for your positive comments coming through on Twitter and Twitch during that first part of Poker in the Ears and Eyes. We are keeping an eye on PokerStars TV.
I meant to say hello, my babies, and bisou, bisou.
What's bisou, bisou?
Kiss, kiss. My mother's from France.
Ah. And your dad is 1,000 times removed Italian and very proud of it.
Exactly.
As an Italian man, brackets granddad's 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 brother.
He posts memes like, this is what Italians call a meal, and it's like a banquet table. By the way, Matt, as Kolkovich wins yet another pot, this guy started with around 4.5 million, and now he's up to over 7. So he's doing all right.
He's doing okay. Fatima did force me to pick a favorite yesterday, and I'd gone with Platt. He has had a considerably poorer couple of levels than perhaps you might have expected.
But you must have been thrilled when you saw him fold ace-queen, and his hand was crazy under-repped.
I know. That was pretty impressive.
Folds top pair, second kicker. It was no good, and he was right. A couple of people, including yourself, Matt, misunderstood one little part of that phone call where you guys think my mom was calling me my darling.
Right.
She calls me Dolly.
My dolly.
Dolly. She calls me Dolly.
Oh, I just feel so sorry. Also, a little bit of the story that we didn't get quite to the end of involving you going to the fast food chains is, even though you were refused entry, even once you'd explained that you were just multi-purchasing, is to prove a point, you went back to your room, ate all your nuggets and chips, and then went back to the Burger King.
And I did something worthy of getting chucked out for that time. I was pretty rude to the security guard. Don't spite me when I'm hungry is the problem.
If you're going to do the time, you may as well enjoy the crime. So, you know, if they're going to give you a hard time.
I did something worthy of getting thrown out finally.
Ace-10 suited under the gun for Andre Bondar. He's made it 230,000. He's got just over 3 million. Joe, what kind of big blind does that represent?
It's around 30, although it's hard to tell at this level.
It is one of the trickier ones from a mathematical point of view.
Right there. If you wonder why Kolkovich runs so good in this room, 10 years ago he married that young lady.
Cynthia on the rail.
Obviously he has a history of running hot here in the Salle des Etoiles.
Yeah, in case you missed the story earlier on. They have both been here before because this is where they got married. What a place to get married. I mean, how many guests have you got to have make sure you're not rattling around the room? They're doing okay.
Nash on Twitch asks, Nash on Twitter asks, are you going to be at the London series at the end of May, Stapes? I will actually be in the UK, but I have a wedding that weekend. I have a wedding in Wales. I'm going to go visit Graphical Hue for a night. So if anybody has any suggestions for what I should do in Wales for a night, I'm there. I guess Wales is in some crazy soccer match that day, so all the hotel rooms are like $1,100. So I got to sleep on like Hugh's living room floor.
I would say you're probably right.
Zider all in, ace jack.
Kolkovich, ace queen. I think this could be curtains, or certainly at least a sticky situation for Zaita.
So look at that, the 1.12 million. How many big blinds is that? I'm get my calculator app open.
1.120.
Just ask them to hold the deal for a second.
I can't. This has already happened.
Okay, just stall for me. Oh, that's the clock. That's not the calculator. Why did I make it so hard to find? 1120,000.
Call.
Oh, he made the call.
He does make the call.
I think it was around 11 big blinds.
Wanda unlikely to get too fruity with his jack diamond. So it is Zaita at risk, our 29-year-old player from Argentina.
It is Domination Nation. We could be about to lose our first player so far today.
Graduated in economics last year, and look at him here putting that, looking at that knowledge to full use. You can stop hiding in your hoodie now, mate.
The good news is if he goes out in 6th place, he'll probably be able to better invest this money than anyone else at the table.
Everyone now wrapped up a 6-figure payday. Oh.
That is going to be very difficult to crawl back from.
Ace, Queen, 3, 2 pair, a 97% favorite now, Kolkovic.
That is game over.
And we are going to
chop.
Yeah, well, there's a 5% chance. It seems a bit unlikely. Well, exactly 5% rather than unlikely.
He gone.
He gone, but he does get 108,300 euros for his 6th place spot finish. And we are down to 5. And Michael Kolkovic now, huge chip leader, 8.3 million.
Thank you.
Shortest stack is Andreas Klatt with 2.8. That's approximately 28 big blinds. You're welcome. I had a serious question come on Twitch. Let me just try and go back to who that was, because it seemed like it was worth addressing.
Well, we just lost one of the most fluent English speakers at the table.
Oh, the chat's really gonna go down now. Yeah, DSC said, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? 17 is the answer. Thank you for your query. Don't forget, keep those questions coming.
So what's the ladder jump from 6th to 5th?
Well, now the next player out is guaranteed 147,120 euros.
So almost 40K.
Best part thereof.
Nice. Some comments coming about whales. Someone says, Dr. Spin says, trying an absolutely unique food, and then it's bleeped and peas. I wonder what food gets censored.
I can't even imagine.
Or lava bread. Google them.
Be interesting to see if the pace picks up as we gradually get shorter and shorter handed here. When we consolidated from the 2 tables down to the final table with the originally the 9 players and then the official final table of 8, things were pretty sluggish for a couple of levels yesterday. Now there's nowhere to hide.
That's Scary Terry's catchphrase.
Who's? Oh, yes.
230?
Nito Micro, who says, hello, guys. I did not receive my $11 in tournament money from yesterday. What is up with that? Just wait!
Yeah, don't panic.
Do not panic at the disco. After the event is when prizes are sent out. So just cool your jets, Nitsu.
Yeah, have faith. There's actually, believe it or not, a pretty tight system back here. So if you've won something, it all gets logged and recorded and acknowledged. You will receive your prize.
I just don't know how you can get impatient over something that you didn't know existed until 24 hours ago.
I don't know either. That was an easy one. Panic hit big. Klatt completely whiffed. A continuation bet took it down. He is comfortable. Maxim Paniak has now got just shy of 4 million. I will put my hands in the air like I just don't care and let you know that until we started doing the bounty bonus, I can't pretend I'd really spent much time looking at the Pokeball Online. But actually, there's an enormous amount of content there. I would say, obviously, if you're pretty new to the game, definitely worth a visit.
Start there.
But even if you're a seasoned player, I would take a look because there's some fun to be had. And also, there's some little leagues and some bits and bobs, some organized games. There's some value to be had.
Looks like Kolkovic's wife is either taking a photo or she texts like my dad. I don't know what he's talking about.
caught Thomas Lamash when he was with us in the booth yesterday, taking a few selfies of himself, pretending to be like just commentating. As you know, that thing where you think if your shoulder's in that shot, it's going to be really unconvincing.
It looks like someone else took it, or not.
Round to the blinds, Kolkovic and Panyak, 7-4 off. Nash on Twitter has been going on about these backpacks forever. I don't think so, Nash. I'm sorry.
It was the classic case if we had too many of them and then everyone on the crew was like, yoink.
Yoink, yeah.
325.
And by the way, they deserve it.
It's a bit like where I live. If people don't want their old fridge freezer, they just put it on the driveway. And then it's like overnight the magic.
Do you put a note on it that says works or doesn't work, or children, please don't climb inside this?
No, they just leave white goods randomly in the street. And overnight the tooth fairy comes, goes, well, that's a pretty big tooth. But they still take it. They do not leave 10 pence under your pillow, though. They just take your car keys.
What they do in LA is they will put like a couch or a mattress outside.
Right.
But what they do is they will put it out without the cushions.
Right.
So that no one will take it.
Gotcha.
And then when they take the couch, then they put the cushions out.
Okay. Interesting. The funny thing was there was a house around the corner from me that put out a bag and it said, men's Wellington boots, size 9, free. Please help yourself. And they stayed there for weeks. It's like people were scared by it. I think they thought it was a trap. It was like people like it if they get the feeling that they're perhaps stealing it. But to just take something that was offered for free, it just didn't have the same appeal. This is a 6-3 deuce flop. Very slow play.
Pretty good flop for 7-4.
Yeah, that's, let's be honest. When you raise it from the small blind and don't immediately get it folded to you. The King 10, good enough for Panyak to take a look. And also...
C7 bets 275.
Well,
I don't know how often I'm going to float with King High against
No.
Kolkovic. We know it's the best hand here.
and you've got no other kind of multi-combo draw here at all. Nothing else about the flop helps you. So you're kind of just fishing for a king or a 10, which is a bit weak. So a kind of creative raise from the small blind and then a strong continuation bet. And that is why Michael Kolkovic is looking pretty sweet with 8.7 million.
I don't know what this other poker site is that has just jumped on our hashtag, but let me tell you this, it looks real legit.
People just, we must be trending because all the really cheap adverts starting to appear on our feed.
I would remind everyone to play on PokerStars. I don't think you're really interested in setting up Mingu. I mean, that's only one user ID, Untucked 6 Permanian.
By the way, bottom of your screen, a little prod. Don't forget, though, we end our coverage here today. That doesn't mean you have to go home. Why not go to Russia from the 20th to the 31st of May? Sochi is the next stop. One of the new stops. Again, 2017 saw the end of the EPT, the birth of the PokerStars Championship. And that's why, because now we are global. We've already kicked it. Macau action. And then Sochi, another of the new stops.
We're broadcasting live from the 27th of May.
Yep.
Matt,
Joe?
can you answer a question for me?
I'll try.
Is Russia Europe?
Yeah,
It is.
why not?
Is that right? Or
It depends whether you ask a European or a Russian.
right? What does a Russian say?
Yet.
Matt,
Yep.
is Russia Asia?
I don't know if anyone from customer support is listening. Who knows whether Russia is in Asia or Europe?
Son, Russia is Russia.
Of course, Russia is in Europe, Joe.
Are you saying that, or are you just reading from Blackdraw NL?
No,
On
I'm
Twitch.
just reading from Black Jar. I mean, part of Russia is in Europe. Yes, I'm reading from someone else. I'm just reading out what Twitch is telling me. It's technically Europe and Russia. It's so big that it kind of manages to be in about 5 different continents, if memory serves.
6 fold.
James says Russia straddles 2 continents. I guess that's why so many of LA's strippers come from there.
6 7 folds.
The straddling. The button of Maxim Pagnac. He's going to raise this one. 230,000 is the price. King, queen.
Otherwise known as Queen.
Jack 10. Jen. No,
Wow, it's so, how do you do that?
I don't know. See, that's probably why we're not very good, because
Yeah,
Jack 10,
so good.
short-handed.
I mean, you never make a hand with it, but you're supposed to.
In fact, that's probably a good point. Jack 10 is probably the most played hand that's then folded.
That you're like, oh, this is, I mean, it makes straights, and the straights are always the nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, the nut straight, at least.
It's like, I don't know why, but 5, 6 of diamonds, I seem to always look up the flop with, never get there. Jack 10, any variation of Jack 10, I'm game.
Well, here's something from our producer, John, which is almost certainly copied and pasted from Wikipedia. Russia is not proportionally populated between the smaller western portion, almost 25% of the country that is considered part of Europe, and the larger eastern portion, more than 75% that is part of Asia. European Russia contains about 77% of the country's population.
Wow. Let's just all digest that while this hand kicks off. Going to start with the ace-queen for Kolkovic. That's a nice place to be. Top of the table, premium hands, short-handed, a rare and beautiful creature.
Yeah, you like a hand like this under the gun. You're kind of hoping somebody jams on you. You just go, I got ace-queen. Snap call.
And these are the spots where, having been a little bit kind of unusual in previous plays, or Bondi with the ace-king instantly, fireworks time. But, you know, Kolkovic, we've seen open, and we've kind of got to some showdowns in the last few days. We've gone, oh, ace-7 off. Did not expect that. But if the other players are thinking the same as us, you know, if this was cards down, we'd be going, well, this could be anything, because we've kind of got to a point where we'd given up trying to put Michael Kolkovic on specific ranges.
Wow.
It was so wide and fruity.
Wow, wow, wow. Look at me. Getting all uppity that ace-queen's going to be the best hand.
Call.
Just a call.
Do he and his wife have matching sunglasses, or is that the same pair?
That's a good point. Maybe it was 2 for 1 down at the pharmacy.
Yeah, they seem like 2-for-1 people. Getting married in the Salle des Etoiles. Picking up sunglasses bargains.
Well, that's it.
At Boots.
That's how rich people stay rich. They live like they're poor, Joe. Look at me. Just.
I'm going to
fine
find
line.
out you're a secret millionaire one day. I know it.
Do you know what? You might be
Domination Nation headed into the flop.
right. Oh.
3 hearts. Does that matter? It doesn't.
No, that's a shame. I mean, I know that sounds mean of me to be constantly looking for enormous car crash hands, but that's probably going to slow things down. It depends how worried. Yesterday, it felt a bit like people were playing almost an old school game of never really pushing edges. Is that if they were ahead but didn't like some element of the board, they played very cautiously.
The non-nuts best hand.
Yeah, you know, they were kind of adhering to the old school rules of, you know, the river principle and don't bet here because you get raised and you haven't got the nuts. But I think Kolkovic is going to take but one stab at this once he gets some resistance. For Bondi, a queen on the turn would be horrible.
Yeah, our big triple barrel bluffer was Narden, and he is out now.
Yeah.
He liked to run a lot of multi-street bluffs.
And there's a good chance that is why he is out now.
Correct. I mean, the good chance why he's out is because he got aces cracked.
That's true. Look at Bondi. Look at the right corner of his mouth. It went into a slight smirk a minute ago. I'm pretty sure I heard it.
Even ace king, I don't love it. I mean, this is a pretty small bet relative to the size of the pot.
See, I make a chunky raise here myself.
You want to protect against the heart.
It's just such a dangerous looking board. And I mean, if you get lucky and a couple of real bricks come, then you feel confident. But I personally, again, interesting that he does.
I'm against raising here for the fact that I don't think you're ever going to fold out a strong draw. And I think you're just making the pot bigger.
Yeah, but I understand that. But again, I don't mind making the guy pay to hit his draw. I know that's kind of a backwards sometimes.
But I think that's exactly what, I think that's perfectly legitimate.
is that if I'm going to be unfortunate enough to get sucked out, and then I'm at least going to make it expensive, or I'm going to make the bet on the turn really scare out a lot of people going, well, I've now only got one card to come, so let's see. I mean, the thing is, it might be for Bondi here. He can just passively let Kolkovic do all the betting. 1.43 million in the middle before this bet from Michael. He said I could call him Michael. I didn't. Never spoke to him. I didn't speak to him once.
Sure, he'd be fine with it. Well, Kolkovic making a liar out of me so far. And with a hand like this, I don't even know if you can really call it a bluff, because it's going to be the best hand sometimes.
It might just be a recognition of how scary the board looks. I mean, that's the thing, is imagine, not that he can, but imagine he puts Bondi on, oh, he's got the ace-king here. You know that the ace-king still isn't very comfortable with that. I mean, a lot of big kings aren't going to be comfortable with that board.
I think if you know your opponent is ace-king, you don't try to get him to fold it. Or you're setting up for like a huge crazy river shove. It's pretty much the only way someone's going to fold ace-king. They maybe can't call you on 3 streets, but 1 barrel is definitely not getting ace-king to fold with no heart. 2 barrels probably not getting ace-king, no heart to fold. 3 is your only shot. And the last barrel's got to be a big one.
That instantly, that shot was Bondar's rail. Roman Emelianov.
Well, that's got Cynthia's attention. Shades are up.
Gonna stand up going, king, 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 king.
2.5 million in the middle. Brick on the river. In fact, the diamond is just kind of a sideways brick.
Kolkovic kind of trapped in his own story here.
Zergo on Twitch says, this bluff, not gonna work.
What's there to think about, says Jarv. How about the near 40,000 pay jump between 5th and 4th?
Like 2 million 3?
Oh, hang on. It's even more than that. Anyway. 5th, 147,000. 4th, nearly 200.
Man, Kolkovic is asking how much he's got. Maybe he is going to go for the gusto here.
Well, the thing is, he's invested so much, and he does have the momentum. Is what your options are? You just check, give it up, or do you actually try and win this? It would be impressive if he does, but I don't think in this instance it's going to work. Good luck to you, sir.
7 bets. 540.
That was a really small bet to try to bluff this river. That was 1/5 of the pot. Easy, quick call for Bondar. And he's going to win a massive pot.
Yeah.
That is going to put him up into 2nd in chips, I believe. Yup. Kolkovic still in 1st, but only 15 big blinds between these two now.
Gaz is going to come along and play the bounty bonus with us. Good man. Please do so. Wow, another ace-queen. What's going on here?
What is going on
That's
here?
unbelievable.
Suited.
Man, that's really weird. What's that, 3 hands, 4 hands in a row now?
C2 makes it 235.
235. Remind you, we are at the 50,000, 100,000 level with a 10K ante. 60 minutes still on the clock. About 17 minutes till the last bounty bonus of this stop on the championship. Sorrentino with a pocket pair. On the button. Interesting to find out whether he's going to play this aggressively with a short-handed table or
35.
just slink in.
Okay.
slink it is. Oh, the King Jack. Heavens above.
Most playable hand. And I don't think you can do anything other than call.
Ah, well, I think from the small blind, you're right. That would be unadvisable. Any other late spot, maybe you might want to get it. Oh, did he just fold that?
I think folding's okay too, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't fancy it, you're in the small blind. It's not a great spot. Fair dues. I'm just surprised that some of the hands he chooses to play and the hands that he throws away just hard to get a handle on this. 2 hearts, King 7-3.
So Kolkovic would have flopped the best hand, but his equity would not be stellar against ace queen of hearts. Epple says, can you read the actions and cards a bit more specific? I have a visual impairment, hard to see the numbers and suits, etc. We'll try to take care of that for you. It's
Yeah.
King 7 tray, 2 hearts. Bondar has got hearts. He's got the nut flush draw. Sorrentino does have the best hand for now at 2 4s, but he is not the favorite. So Bondar elected to not continue this flop. Interesting.
Maybe just recognizes that he's still on the draw and just decided maybe he'd keep it cheap. Or has he gone for a check raise?
He did not go for check raise.
I
That's a
don't-
pretty interesting check call.
Trying to disguise the strength of his draw in case it comes in and he wants to try and get paid off and someone recapping the hand wouldn't necessarily go there.
I think maybe it's because he thinks he could have the best hand already and doesn't mind just getting the showdown in case he doesn't improve. Doesn't want this pot to get really big and then miss and then not be able to get to showdown. I think might be what's happening. It goes check, check. 6 of diamonds in the river. So Bondar does in fact miss everything.
Guess how much between 1 and 10 I was hoping for the 4 of hearts?
9?
10. You're
10.
really close there.
Nothing impersonal against Bondar, by the way.
No, we
just
just
like car crashes.
We just like people to get it on. Check, check, and it is going to be the pocket 4s of Sorrentino starting out the best, ended the best.
King Jack would have ended up a winner there. But who knows how the hand plays out if there's a third quantity involved.
So with that, Rafael Sorrentino now at 4.3 million. Andre Bondar ahead of him with 4.64. And Michael Kolkovic still top of the table with 6,660,000 in chips.
So Maria Ho just got in touch.
Oh, has she seen the clip?
Yeah, she said, OMG, that's amazing. I died laughing. Your mom is the cutest. I'm just going to write back to her that she should be careful that one of my friends don't jump her.
Yeah, there was that slight threat in the context of the conversation. That's the thing, you start off thinking, oh, Joe's mum's so sweet. Oh, don't worry about it, Dolly. And then he says, don't worry about it because I've got friends who are going to take care of that Maria O.
And when my mom says it, she's not calling her by her first and last name. Take care of that Maria Ho.
King 9 for Kolkovic. Andreas and Rafael already out of this hand. Just the button and the blinds. I like the 5-handed dynamics because so often it is the under the gun, the cut-off fold, and then you've got the button staring at the blinds, knowing that his range can really open up. And if you get a good aggro player on the button when you're 5-handed, that's a real exciting spot to be in. I don't know if Kolkovic is quite the man for that job. I don't know if any of these guys, it doesn't feel to me, Joseph, that at any point, any of these 5 guys have really attempted to be the table captain.
No, I mean, Kolkovic has played a lot of hands. He's active, but he's not aggro.
And Andreas Klatt, for a while I thought he was going to be that man.
He didn't have the chips to do it today.
No, but even earlier on in the sequence, like yesterday, there were times where he was right up the top of the table and still didn't really kind of go, right, well, now I've got the momentum, I'm going to boss this table. Just everyone playing pretty solid. Apart from the odd curveball from Kolkovic that had us scratching our heads, everyone pretty much doing what you would expect them to do in their given situations.
Matt, did you actually register for the bounty bonus? Are you in?
Yes. Do you know what I have remembered consistently to get involved? You've still got 12 minutes, and also worth mentioning, there's a 30-minute late reg. Few people have bunched in late to get involved. So,
did I make it in time for the tournament?
Late reg. I mean,
it's just I just lose track of time.
Where were you this time, Reg?
Well, I don't have a shower in my room, so I have to take a bath every day, and I don't. It's just, it takes longer.
Always late, Reg. 11 minutes, though. Do join us. Again, remind you, the easiest way to find us is go to the Tournaments tab in the search box. Put in Bounty Bonus. Turn off your filters. You will see today the last opportunity to get involved. $150 on me, Joe, and James. Waster, Joe Stapleton, and J. Hartigan, as well as the $500 guarantee in there. Rebuys and add-ons. And once that period is over, after the first hour of play, bounties are live. As they say, come get some.
Bounty, bounty, bounty. Come get some.
Currently got about 6,500 people queued up there. And remind you, it's a 6 max Zoom, so you will get the chance to bump into us. Because
I can't guarantee that. So I think some people don't bump into us, but it's very likely.
I think there's a really good chance, especially considering we get so much action that we tend to build up big stacks. I think we've all been top sort of 5 across this week at some point or other. 7.1 million for Kolkovic. Very comfortably top of this table, but a volatile player who can get himself in trouble. We've seen it before, so it's not to suggest that a couple of key confrontations couldn't see that tumble.
Matt, I'm going to need to, when I do late reg from now on, change my voice a little bit.
Well, do you know what I wondered? I was surprised that you came in with
just
yourself.
with my own voice, yeah.
But I mean, I think there's a lot of room to play with there.
So Bondar's buddy, who was on camera before, the guy I joked about having a Russian accent because he is Russian. Apparently in Russia, he's a boss. He's a radio boss. I don't know what that means, but that's what Ilya says. I don't know if that means that he's a DJ. He's like a boss DJ, a la Sublime.
What, like as in he's the CEO, or he totally bosses it?
Exactly, but he's a boss radio guy. And also apparently he's a pretty good poker player himself. Did Ilya ever tell you the story about the time he was getting on the subway in Moscow?
There's a good chance I tuned out, but try me.
He's getting on the subway in Moscow. It was real late at night, and there was like a bunch of real rough-looking dudes slugging beers at the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And as he was approaching, they sort of made a circle around him.
Oh.
And Ilya's,
dance off.
Ilya's a fairly diminutive, nerdy-looking dude. And he was like, all right, well, this is going down. And the guy went up to him and sort of poked him in the chest. It was like,
7 folds.
I love your poker commentary, man. You're the best.
Wow.
9 rates, 230.
Me and my friends have got something we want to say to you. We're massive fans. Any chance of a selfie?
And then they helped a little old lady onto the train and donated to cancer research.
There was a fantastic sketch show in the UK years ago, and one of the characters was a complete Mickey take of the old, really sexist, racist kind of stand-up comedians of the 70s. And he was meant to be the completely PC guy. And you go, an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Scotsman going to a bar. What a fantastic representation of multicultural socializing. That's a beautiful... And that's what you got there. You set us up for one thing, and then it turns out to be actually a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Then they had the dance-off. There they are. They're the Russian bosses having a little conference. Do you think... Remember how when we were in Panama and the DJ sounded just like an American DJ, only in Spanish?
See?
Do you think that's what it's like in Russia? Also?
I don't know. I hope so.
Friday, Friday, Friday.
The air horns. Pocket nines, another decent starting hand here.
Two raises, 230.
Andre opens things up. Maxim Pagnac already out of this hand. Andreas Klatt not really got going this level. Not been a big part of the action. Really been all about Bondar, Kolkovic so far. Here is the aforementioned Kolkovic making a decision whether to defend his big blind with 2 cards. 8-6 suited.
Oh yeah, this is a defendo all the live long day.
Yeah.
And 7.
All right, well, this is exciting.
Yeah. It's a queen 3-3 flop with 2 clubs, 560,000. Remind you, pocket nines for Bondar with 1 club. Kolkovic has the 8-6 in clubs.
I love making flushes with hands like this, but it's so hard to get paid because the flush is like, it's like the most obvious big hand to be up against. The problem is when you miss your flush draw, you're almost never going to win at showdown because your opponent's like bound to even have a higher card than you.
I agree with you.
Which just one of these nines is all Bondar needs at the moment. You can't fold it though, guy.
And you think, do you know what? It's like a scratch card. If I just pay 210, I get to see another card. It's just, it's like everyone's scratch on your screen where the turn card is. Just scratch your screen with the edge of a
what's
coin.
under there? Yeah, what will your turn card
Let's
be?
see what, yeah. Oh, it's the 10 of diamonds. That's a bit of a passion killer.
It's a swing and a miss. I guess Bro 101 says, did Stapes ship that tourney he was leading earlier this week? That was the bounty bonus tournament, which actually starts in about 5 minutes, I think. I think 3 minutes. You can still get in that.
Yep.
I did not ship it. I finished in 14th out of 7,100 runners. James had a deep run this week too, 50-something. 56, 52? Twice you finished in the 50s? Wow.
Smitty is calling me out. He said, I bumped into Matt yesterday. He did. He said, hi, Matt. And I said, hello back. And then I completely cleaned him out because I was sitting on Trip Kings and I was just chatting him up so that I could ensure he gave me all of his money. That's why it's a rebuy, Smitty. I said you can have the bounty. I didn't say it'd be easy.
So Bondar River's a boat. I do not think his value bet's going to get paid, but what do I know? I eat the heads off fish. Think I should check out this train station in Wales? Landfair, Pawiga, Ingla, Goger, Cheweg, Renga, Robbo, Lanti, Silo, Gogok.
No.
Okay.
Do you know what? I've heard many, many hundreds of people in my years pronounce that. And that is easily the furthest from the real one that I've ever heard.
Oh, just like a
someone do.
well-known thing that you guys grew up with in the UK. You know about this train station.
It's the sort of thing where, you know, you get these news reporters that have been up for 3 days practicing it so that they can just casually reel it off.
On like at 9 a.m. Like, and here I am on this Groundhog Day outside of Liverpool, Queer and Darab Ulandas Ilio Gogok.
Leo, go. Yeah. That's the one.
Or as we like to call it, Bob. You don't say that the full house bet was too big to get called by 8 high. Huh.
This one is going to start with Bondar, fresh off his victory from the previous hand. 8-4. Bondar. Still working on his action figure for the He-Man range. 9-10 diamonds for Klatt. This looks incredibly playable. He's been quiet for a while as well. He'll want to get a couple of hands onto the table.
Score is 235.
235, thank you. Rafael Sorrentino on the button. Let this go. Small blind of Michael Kolkovic. Nine deuce spades lets that go. Just Maxim Pagnac gonna defend his big blind or not, question mark. See inside for details. Bit cheeky, we don't know what he's got just yet.
90,
Ice queen again.
590.
It's like one of those
590?
duplicate poker games where everyone gets the same hands. They just pass them around the table. Bounty bonus tournament started. You can still get in and not miss any blinds. You got 1 minute. Of course, there is 30 minutes of late reg.
So Klatt got to consider a 3-bet here, a rare thing on this particular final table.
Finally.
I think if ever there was a time that the 4-bet alert is going to be a silent member of this output, today probably the biggest case ever.
I can almost remember what it sounded like.
Yeah, it's funny. I almost felt like I heard it.
Distant memory.
Good times. Klatt has called this. It's most definitely a let's go fishing kind of hand, but you hit big or your opponent misses. I mean, the guys are going to have to get really creative here to make this pot go through all the streets.
Or the dealer will. Have to deal out 2 separate boards. Wow. Just slams out the bet. Easy fold for 10 high.
Nice.
You know, I actually find this guy Roy kind of funny. I usually am like irritated by people trying to be funny, but Roy says, I'm pretty sure I purchased an Andreas Klatt my last trip to IKEA.
I like that.
That's the joke I was looking for all week, if I can be perfectly honest, and never got there. So, you know what? Let's give Roy a prize.
Yeah.
Roy's tickled me a few times.
Good on you, Roy.
It's only going to encourage other people to try to be funny, but let's give him some wireless earphones. How about that?
Nice.
We haven't given away any of those this week.
I haven't seen those. I'm curious. It's worth reflecting that Maxim Pagnac was for a while the guy on our second feature table when we had multiple tables who seemed to be taking everyone out of the game. Knocked out Sergio Aido, took out Elke, a few others for sure who I've forgotten. That's the way I work. So we know he has it in him to be a more aggro player. I can't believe that was just all motivated by the cards. This is a raise from Sorrentino with his ace-4 suited.
Certainly makes sense. Short-handed. One off the button. Kolkovic wondering what to do at 10-9 suited. I say go for it.
Oops.
Play the pot in position.
Man, that was the commemorative plate I bought for my mum. That's
Oh, Dolly.
Dolly. That's not a very masculine nickname for a son, Dolly.
Dolly and Joe Bean.
That makes more sense to me. Is this a re-raise? No, it's just a call from the button here. And still bond up. 4-5 diamonds. See, I can't resist these pretty suited connectors.
I love him. I mean, you're like, I can flop a straight flush. That never happens.
It never happens. And I always go, you know, lightning in a bottle, lightning in a bottle. I call up Davide Katai's fiance, said, could you come over to my house where I'm playing in this game and just stand behind me going lightning in a bottle, over and over and over. So some speculative hands. We've got 3, 6, 8 Badugi. It's a rainbow.
I mean, the 8 of clubs is the hardest card to hit there. You know what I mean? You got the 10-9 of clubs. I think what I'm going to do in the bounty bonus from now on is write in the chat to someone and say, if you answer me, I'm going to send you a prize, and then jam. So the chat's disabled and they can't.
Up and down for Bondar with this 3, 4, 5, 6. Not much for Sorrentino to get too excited about. gut shot for Kolkovic. And obviously the backdoor clubs. A lot to speculate about with these three particular kind of hands that go to a flop. Everyone fishing, not surprising that everyone kind of connects in some way.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's something. Ace high is something.
2 overcards in the backdoor clubs for Kolkovic. Potential straight runouts as well.
Yeah, sure.
And he is the player that is bet out. Sorrentino checked after Bondar. Kolkovic trying to take control. Kolkovic starting to have a hint of table captainness about him. It's not as obvious or apparent as we
He's like captain by default, like the real captain died and everyone's just like, you do it.
Yeah, I think he is just proving to be ultimately the more, not even aggressive seems too strong a word, just the more likely to bet more often than not. And
active, he's just more active.
by default, that makes him kinda captain. Now he improves by hitting the 9. Honda opening the door.
It's called a phase tournament, boo-boo.
I'm amazed. She seems like such a sweet girl. I can't believe she went straight for the your mum. I mean, right for the jugular. No messing about there. I mean, normally you throw a couple of insults about each other before you start bringing in the close family members.
She took it right to the triple dog dare. Hello, hello, Bondar. Comes from a place where the streets are not very well labeled.
He called for the turn, but he still hasn't found what he's looking for. And continuing with the story, I mean, he's connected, but he's starting to build up pretty irrepressible momentum now on the table. Kolkovic got the chips, hitting some of the cards, more inclined to bet than the other guys.
If a 7 peels off here, this could turn into a Sunday most violent Sunday.
You're aware it's a Friday. Not important to Joe when a joke is at stake. Facts very much overrated.
Don't be that guy. 505,000. What is the Bondar really even? I mean, are you really? You got your draw here is probably no good. Right? Right? Am I crazy? Am I talking kooky here? Right? You don't want to hit the 7. So then you can hit the deuce, but you could be drawing dead. Could already be up against the straight.
Yeah, it's hard to find a lot unless you have some huge physical tell and you've just unraveled the mystery of your opponent's hand and think you can do something. He lets that go. Kolkovic still on the up and up. 7.38 million now. Closest opponent, Maxim Paniak, with 4.3. I want to remind you as well, we're all enjoying this last bounty bonus, but don't forget one of our other big promotions we've been going through while we've been here in Monte Carlo is our Scoop Spin and Goes. Don't forget that we have got 3 $100 tickets for Scoop to give away. If you fire up one of the Scoop Spin and Goes, if you can win a hand, just win a hand with a pocket pair. All we then need is to get some proof of that. So if you then get us a screenshot or a boom link with the hand ID, and very importantly, you have to tweet it at hashtag PSCWin. PSCWin. You've got until 1 minute to midnight tonight. And then tomorrow, middle of the day, via Twitter, @PokerStarsTV, we will announce the winners. But get involved in that. You've got all day to play those. They're $25 a pop. Obviously, you may well win something worthwhile in the playing. But even if you just win one hand with a pocket pair, that could be your gateway to a free $109 ticket.
Played one of these, Matt. First spin, spun for the ticket.
Wow.
Won it. So now I have another $109 scoop ticket. I'll probably donk off when I go to Canada to play phase 2 of Scoop 1. Cannot wait. How sick would it be if I won a Scoop bracelet, huh? Coming back in the booth, Matt Broughton, James Hardigan, and Scoop winner, Joe Stapleton. Then you all really have to kiss my butt.
I remember that in one of the, I can't remember what show it was, where there was the guy wearing his bracelet or his watch, and somebody going, so did you win that or did you buy it? It was Lex, was it Lex? I can't remember saying, did you buy that with your VIP
It was in
points?
Shark Cage.
And was it Lex? Saying to the guy, yeah.
And
so
it was our qualifier,
Yeah.
I think, who was wearing his Scoop bracelet.
getting dissed by Lex. Huh? Oh, you just won it, did you? Huh?
That's right, it was Gareth from Wales. Full circle.
And rest. Kalkovic has opened this to 230,000 with his 7-9 gappy suited connectors, getting fruity under the gun. Bondar came along. Bondar.
Poor Andreas Klatt. Folded these threes before. Had a kind of an awkward stack. Now his stack is even more awkwarder.
Is that like winningest?
What, and that like they're just really interesting different words to use? Yes.
Former sentence, why don't you, America? Unbelievable. Gives this one up. He is the most foldingest player right now in this hand. Oh, the King Jack off. Sorrentino sneaks in very quickly on the big blind. Take a look at this. 9-5 Jack, rainbow.
Wow, two players hit a 9, one player hits a Jack.
A very fast check from Sorrentino, who has hit top pair. I wonder if this is setting up some sort of check raise just to keep the hand simple with two opponents. Remind you that it was Kolkovic that actually started the action here with his under the gun raise, so he continues to show the aggression here. Bondar's got to fancy this. He's got second pair, great kicker. No interest really comes from the hearts, which is a shame.
You might think that you have to. I think this is a not a mandatory C-bet situation. When you hit second pair and you've been called in two spots, that could very easily both have a Jack in their hand or have some piece of this board. Jack 9, you know, is gonna hit all the Broadway cards that are gonna call both in the big blind and on the button. 7 of spades on the turn. So two pair now for Kolkovic. And all of a sudden his flop C-bet looks genius because now he has an even bigger pot he can bet into.
Yeah, and still no reason for his opponents, well, certainly Sorrentino anyway, perhaps Bondar, to not go, well, stick around.
I mean, now you really want to keep on firing. So many draws out there. Like I said, Jack well within both players' ranges. This is a great turn, a great spot to just keep on firing.
Yeah, especially with the kind of the rep that is built up in the last couple of hours of play. He does tend to go to town once he starts the hand going. Unless he's going to be a bit saucy and try and give his opponents a chance to catch up.
Seven bet 670.
He does continue. 670. Bonda can't find a good enough reason to stick around. Going to be a harder decision for Sorrentino.
Yeah, top pair. I'm not sure that you can really get away from this for 2 bets.
Yeah, top pair, great kicker. No obvious danger from the board. No obvious straights and flushes, and you're just certainly unlikely to raise, but hard to give yourself a lot of good reasons to just get pushed off with the betting. Again, especially in light of the fact we've commented that Kolkovic really is kind of leading the pace of the game right now.
5 on the river.
Rich is saying Kolkovic is so lucky, but I mean, you've got to be in it to win it. A check and a check. Didn't like the fact the board paired, kind of worried about the 5.
Counterfeited.
Yeah, that is pretty sickening right at the end there. And it was so well disguised. Yeah. Check, check. At least he avoided going crazy at the end there, saw the danger, checked it back to Sorrentino, who got no additional value. But now real close. Kolkovic, 6 million. Rafael Sorrentino, 5.6 million.
And that's another reason why you got to bet the turn there.
Oh, sorry.
Just
Sorry,
one.
it's not
No,
me.
it's okay.
I mean, that's the thing is Kolkovic there is just building that pot, building that pot. But, I mean, counterfeiting is just one of the filthiest things that they ever invented in poker. I think it should be banned. What do you think?
I
Press
agree.
1 now, go on the poll. We can see what happens there. A big switcheroo, a big chunk of Michael Kolkovic's chips slipping to Rafael Sorrentino.
Sorrentino is just about dead even with him now.
Yeah, apart from our short stack of Andreas Klatt, who's got 1.6, which is 16 bigs here of 50-100. It's Andre with 37, Maxim with 42, Rafael with 56, and Michael with 60 big blinds. So, you know, any decent confrontation moves these chips around. Pocket kings from Pagnac.
Close it in on the end of the 2nd level of the day. We've only lost 1 player so far. Yeah, that sigh is worth it.
Shake it off, brother. Shake it off.
Call that the counterfeit sigh.
Queen Jack suited in clubs. So this is going to look great. I mean, he's up against the monster. No way to know that. Short-handed. You just expect your opponents to be opening with such a wider range, and here come the kings. I pray for the sanity of Kolkovic if he hits top on this. As it is, it's an 8 of diamonds, 6 of hearts, 3 of clubs. Check to the aggressor. Maxim carries on. Kolkovic out of there.
Sigh. Small pot with kings.
So hand 36 of the day. The blinds at 50,000, 100,000, a 10K ante. Just short of 25 minutes left on this level. 5 players remain. Action's going to start with Andre Bonda. King Jack suited in hearts.
Looks good enough for a poke.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you're looking real good today, King Jack suited. How many breakfasts do you have today, huh?
Oh, do you know what? That tricked me. totally thought that was aces.
Really?
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
totally thought that was going to be the big boys. Sorrentino also out.
I didn't know that was possible if you weren't looking at actual cards.
I just blinked as they appeared, and my initial imprint was the ace of spades. There is the ace of spades. Kolkovic holding the ace queen. Another ace queen here. And then the more speculative big blind, 9-5 in clubs. Top pair for Kolkovic. Second pair hits the jack for Bondar. Kolkovic checks quite quickly for him, small blind. Pagnac completely misses and checks through.
About 630.
When you're playing poker, do you ever look down at one of your cards and just decide, like, oh, it's a good card, I'm raising?
No.
You should try it.
Okay.
It's great.
Have you become a world-renowned multimillionaire poker pro based on that logic?
I mean, I haven't not become world-renowned poker pro based on that logic. It's like, I don't know if I'd be any good at being a jockey. I've never really tried.
I mean, what you are, Joe, is a lot of potential.
That's right. The way a rock at the top of a mountain is potential energy. That's me. Just a rock sitting still. But potential.
Meanwhile, Michael Kolkovic is chopping out some chips here with his top pair. Awesome kicker. Got to be worried about the diamonds potentially. Got to be worried about other big Broadway cards. But then again, similarly, in a short-handed table, maybe not worried about any of that. Just finding out where he is right now.
7 call, 9 call.
Just a call. I would imagine that will be the end of Pagnac's
Yeah.
involvement in this hand. He is gone.
Adios.
Heads up to the turn, which is a 4 of hearts.
Ace and a queen and a king and a jack and just one heart out there. Three changes nothing.
7 bet, 260.
So 2 million in the middle, and this final value bet from Kolkovic does get called off. It's a little one, 260,000, but it's all going in the right direction. As we see Kolkovic get himself to 7.3 million. It's good for him and his rail, because his wife Cynthia is here keeping an eye, and we caught up with them.
It's been very exciting. It's a lot of emotion. I'm very happy for him. It's a very nice experience to go in the final table. So we will see, but I'm very happy for him.
She said their marriage was marvelous. Nobody uses that word. That's awesome.
I mean, I've never used that word. It's absolutely fine.
Oh, you mean about your own marriage?
Let's not get carried away, everyone. All right, we're all adults here. A raise from Sorrentino with his pocket. Man, look at these cards. Pocket kings from Sorrentino. Pagnac getting involved with the queen jack and king jack for Bondar.
Who should we take on our expedition to the fires
9 check.
of the shadowy woods? Groglock, Bondar. I like Bondar's broadsword.
Yeah, but don't forget, he's got the -4 because of his aversion to steel.
6 bet, 320.
Man, a 5-5 deuce flop is such a disappointment when you've got king, king, king jack, queen jack.
Well, it's a disappointment for us. If you got kings, you're pretty okay with it.
I guess so. I also, the interview there with Cynthia, they went, Cynthia, would you be happy to talk to us? Yeah, absolutely. Would you mind walking the half a mile up to the back of the room? Because it would make a lovely backdrop. Well, I'm kind of railing my husband. Well, look, if you could just step away. Yeah, but it's... Look, just come with us.
You're ruining the magic of television, Matt.
Yes, 5100.
Did you read this tweet from
No.
Luke, who says, no idea why, but I'm rooting for Sorrentino here. I like his demeanor.
I have
He's a
no
pretty
problem
sweet
with
guy.
it. Yeah.
Always all smiles when I see him.
I mean, word on the street is all these guys are just sweethearts. It's, you know, it's a pity to a degree. That, I mean, it is both awesome and a pity that we have this incredible range of different nationalities, because that's what we like with all of our events. But the bummer side of that is that we're not going to get much chat. We're not going to get to really get much of an insight into what drives these guys, because there's not a lot of conversation on the table. We're not able to engage with them much ourselves directly. But word on the street from people that do, they're all lovely people.
There was one real jerk in this tournament.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I heard about that. No, I didn't.
727 players, though, so not so bad.
The odds were against
No jerks.
King 3 off raise, 230 from Pagnac. Call from Bondar with the ace-6 suited in clubs, and Klatt wakes up with pocket jacks. He is short stacked. He has been very quiet. Let's be honest, if this doesn't get into the middle of the table, I'd be very surprised. Pretty sure Pagnac would not be interested in that. Bondar,
All in.
I don't know.
Orally.
Not surprising to see and hear the all-in. I just realized that isn't the Glass Dangerous Triangle of Death. That's the
That's legit.
that's the PG-rated Triangle of Death. It hardly takes your eye out. Pagnac just checking that they weren't kings. They weren't kings. And Bondar doesn't even think about it for a minute.
How much? 50.
He is now level with Andre Bondar. Andreas Klatt, 20 bigs. Andre Bondar, 20 bigs. In fact, look, everyone's keeping it very neat and tidy for us. When the blinds go up the next level, that's the end of those glorious days. 2020,
Neat and
40,
tidy.
60.
Something I know nothing about.
I've seen your wardrobe.
Neither neat nor tidy.
Or a wardrobe, just like a box, a cardboard box on the floor filled with cat litter. Keeps it smelling fresh.
Sometimes I bring the wrong box with me on these trips, and I have nothing to wear but sand. Pooped in sand.
7
Doesn't even have a cat. So make your own
I
conclusions.
have to remember to get one.
Or deuce spades for Klatt in the small blind up against just the big blind. Everyone else folded out of this hand.
I should get myself an Andreas Klatt to put my Kia to put my clothes in.
A kitty Klatt.
Meow, kitty Klatt.
options.
Klatt just completes from the small blind option on Sorrentino with his 10-7 off.
Man, people are making the worst calls against me in the bounty bonus tournament. I mean, they're right. It's just terrible, because that's how I would play it if I had it.
I'm, again, just by sheer bad luck, I've not really played much because I feel like I should be focused on our final 5 players. It seems they've worked so hard for so many days and so many hours that I should probably give them a bit of love.
Yep.
So apologies to everyone that's screaming at me in the chat box.
Yeah, James is 4th in chips. Forget these guys.
I'm big, yeah.
There's a bounty, there's a $1 tournament happening, Matt.
Oh, sorry.
Get your head in the game.
Right. So these guys fighting over €500,000 just...
Yeah, I mean, it's on the screen.
Okay, guys. Well, look, I'm going to sign off. You enjoy watching this graphics-only presentation for the next 12 minutes.
No, it's not graphics only, because I'm going to update you on my bounty bonus tournament every once in a while.
Right, okay. So that's, I know, what people are mostly interested in. And how many Whoppers did you buy exactly?
9.
A lot of whoppers.
I said, give me all of the whoppers.
I did make a reference to Pretty Lady at the time that's been cut because it clearly wasn't considered relevant or funny enough.
Pretty woman?
You know when she goes back to the place that won't serve her because she's dressed like a hooker? You're paid on commission, right? Big mistake, huge. That was what my implication was when Joe went back just to prove a point to the bouncer by buying 9 whoppers and then throwing them on the floor. For some reason, we only have one of Paniak's cards, but he has raised with at least a 10 of clubs.
No, this has got my interest now that we can
Wow. Now we
spin the Guessatron.
King Jack off for Sorrentino in the small blind. More than strong enough short-handed to get excited about.
So I chimed in with a haven't you ever heard of
Closing the
gosh darn door.
7-4.
with a sense of poise.
Is it poise and rationality, or poison?
No, poise. It's much better to face these things with a sense of poise and rationality.
Oh, I thought it was poison like a rationality.
Well, that would make
that'll
sense.
kill you.
How would that make sense?
Like a rationality that'll kill you. It's a song, man. It's poetic. It doesn't have to be on the nose.
Turned out it was Queen 10 off up against Sorrentino's King Jack, but he came in with a 3-bet, got the job done. 10 minutes left on this level. I just take a look in our lobby. I can tell you that there's no more time for late reg.
You guys, nice. I'm not good at voices.
No, I've noticed.
Voices.
Raise 230.
Jack 10 off and Sorrentino raises 230 from the cutoff after Andreas Klatt, the short stack. Or should I say equals short stack now with Bondar. Gets out of there. Both Andre Bondar and Andreas Klatt both sitting with just short of 2 million. 7.5 minutes left on this level.
Yeah, look at that. Just working those two shorties down and down and down. Somebody's going to have to do something soon. The two Andres.
Yeah, and you can understand why Rafael Sorrentino is kind of just taking his time, because the next jump in payment from 147,120 euros for 5th goes up to 199.9. I'm going to call that 200,000 in future. Just shy of 200,000 euros. So big jumps makes a massive difference to these guys.
6 fold. 7 fold.
Also worth priming you so that you can make sure any bathroom breaks or cups of tea are made, because in 6.5 minutes when we go to the next break, the second part of Poker in the Ears and Eyes with our guest from Team Pro, Fatima De Mello.
And look, I know we're not supposed to say this, but I don't care. I'm famous for this.
Okay.
Fatima looks great in the episode.
Yeah.
So you should absolutely judge a book by its cover. As long as that cover is a gold Angus Young t-shirt. That is Angus Young, right, on her shirt? Not Brian.
Correct.
Brian May, is that the guy's name?
That's the Queen guitar show.
Oh, sorry.
Unbelievable.
Look, I'm young. 43. I was sheltered.
What is this rock and roll, Daddy? Slap.
My parents only listened to oldies. They didn't do rock and roll, really. Like the Beatles was as rock as it got. Whatever Rolling Stones they played on the oldie station.
Did they run and clap their hands over your ears? This'll twist you, Joseph. Don't listen to this.
You joke. James has heard this story before.
Uh-oh.
I was allowed to see The Godfather when I was a child. Well, not a child, I was like probably 12 or 13. But my mother, during the sex scene, the Apollonia scene, stood up in front of the TV and held a beanbag chair between her legs and blocked the TV during the sex scene, so I couldn't see it. That's, I mean, you're not that far off from cover your ears.
That's fine. I don't think that's a dreadful thing.
All in.
Okay.
Wow.
All in. 4-fold.
That's a very nice, effective way of punishing Andreas's short stack. Rafael Sorrentino there, finding the ace deuce and just making life real easy. Everything or nothing, buddy. And of course, we know the huge percentage of the time, Andreas Klatt not going to wake up with something that he is going to want to risk that big pay jump with. Good to see Sorrentino starting to get a bit more aggro in those spots. Queen 10 for Bonda.
It's crazy how fast you burn the U2 references.
Yeah.
You can pick up Russian Bono's newest album on reallygoodmusic.ru for 99 cents. Joshua Plant.
6-4.
Blind on blind, Sorrentino just limps with the 10-6 off. Michael Kolkovic in the big. He has got ... Jack 4 off. That's a bit more like the kind of starting hands we're used to here. All this aces and ace king and king
this
jack.
unrealistic.
Business. Yeah, it was a bit of a reach to expect we could continue being gifted such
It's like
beauties.
It's like when you log into Bumble and the first 10 photos they show you are like the top 10 most right swiped on people in the universe.
I've forgotten. I know I've asked this, but remind me, what's the difference between Bumble? Which one? What's Bumble?
Bumble is very similar to Tinder. It's just the one where the girls have to write to you first if you match, so you can't like you can't bother them. But it's actually way more insulting than Tinder, because on Tinder you match with somebody and you write to them and they just don't write you back. On Bumble, you match with someone, they write to you, and then you answer them, and then they don't write you back.
Oh, okay.
So it's an even bigger slap in the face.
Well,
Pair of sixes is good.
good for Sorrentino, who is now, as we close in on the last couple of minutes of this little chip leader, 7.17 million for Rafael Sorrentino. Michael Kolkovic still very, very comfortable, but a huge division between these two players at the top of the table. Maxim Pagnac in the middle with 35 bigs. And then down the bottom, Andreas Klatt and Andre Bonda with 19 and 18 big blinds respectively. You will see the trailer there at the bottom of the screen talking about the next episode of Poker in the Ears and Eyes. Also, I can tell you that after the break, we will come back with a guest in the commentary booth.
Wow.
Daniel Negreanu.
What?
Yeah.
Live?
So, Kid Poker friends, get ready to make some noise.
2-4.
So, a minute and a half left on the level, then episode 2 of Poker in the Ears and Eyes, and then when we return for level 30 of our main event with our final 5 players, unless someone goes out in the next 90 seconds, and Mr. Daniel Negreanu on
I'm so
comms.
excited for Daniel. Oh my goodness. Daniel Negreanu in the booth? I won't be here, but Daniel will be at least. Yeah, look at the Twitch chat going crazy.
Yeah. See, we held on to that. I knew that a little while back, but I thought, you know what? I'll sit on that for a little while. See, Sorrentino now getting a bit carried away with himself. He's had a good couple of minutes, and now it's going crazy. King Deuce, Ace 8. King Deuce for Sorrentino, Ace 8 off for Kolkovic. Still got Maxim Pagnac to worry about in the big blind, incidentally. Take your time, Michael. Make sure it's what you want.
It's your day.
Well, it would be a horrible point to make some mistake with the chips. I like his delivery of the chips. I think it's very dealer friendly. It's very friendly for us. We can see what he's chopping up. Ace-9 for Paniak very quickly and quietly sneaks in. Deuce, king, queen, 2 spades.
Good flop for Sorrentino.
2 pair off the bat.
He's got a lock on this hand.
The only problem being he hasn't really got much in the way of customers coming around, but the good thing is he has got position. Kolkovic checks his ace-8. Sorrentino continues, as you expect him to do, a huge percentage of the time.
Sweet talk those chips.
And I guess that's going to be the last hand of the level?
Yes. Enjoy your 20-minute break. But not you guys in the audience. You don't get a break. You have to watch Poker in the Airs Part 2.
And ice. So let's take a look at that, because Rafael Sorrentino ends up top of this table, 7.68. Michael Kolkovic second. Short stack, Andre and Andreas. It is a 20-minute break. Enjoy the second part of Poker in the Ears and Eyes. We will be back with more from the main event after that.